SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
First of all, I want to thank all our former players and our current players, and so many other people for their notes and their texts and congratulatory responses last night after the football game. So I wanted to personally thank all of them. It sort of brings back a lot of memories. I got asked in the press conference, do I reflect on that? You know, when you get a message from a guy that played for you 10 years ago or something like that, then takes you back to their time here and a little bit about them. So appreciate all of those. As far as the game, when you literally look at the game, I think look at the first drive of the game, sort of sets the tone, and then big goal line stand after the fumble on the punt return. Two of the bigger plays in the game, then the 2-minute drive after the interception in their 2-minute, and then our subsequent drive for a touchdown. Look at us defensively, come up with two turnovers and three 3-and-outs in the third quarter, 17 unanswered points, 4 straight drives by the offense. We did miss the 1 field goal, but if you really count before the half, there's 5 straight drives where we have an opportunity to score points. In the third quarter alone, it was 11 minutes of possession time for us and 4 minutes for them. So we really won the third quarter by getting off the field, and then also with a couple turnovers, and then one early in the fourth quarter, and then subsequent drives by our offense. Put it where it was at, 31-3 there with a couple minutes left. Joe Bocci had an unbelievable game. We have production points when you get so many tackles, so many assists, interceptions, pass breakups, you get a certain amount of points. Usually if you have 20 points, so you've had a very good game. 17 points if you had a very good game. You had 53 production points. Gives you an idea of how well he played. Defense played extremely well versus the pass. They had 43 attempts, averaged about 2 points something per attempt. Only gave up 2 big plays on the day, and one of them was late, a 17-yard run late, and other than that, they did break off a 21-yard run earlier in the game. So played outstanding, got good pressure on the quarterback, and made it tough to throw on him. Offensively, played Lewerke with 3 touchdown passes and 2 catches. Big catches by 25 by Darrell Stewart and another touchdown catch by Cody White. So I thought both those guys had good days. Managed day. We really protected the quarterback and sort of, when you're at halftime, it's actually, I think, 17-12. They've got the possession time, even though we're ahead. And then at the end of the third quarter, it's flopped to us completely. And I think that was the difference in the game. Getting off the field in the third quarter and then obviously scoring 4 straight drives or having opportunity to score 4 straight drives. We did miss the 1 field goal, but played extremely well. We took control of the football game. So I'll take some questions.
I know there's been so much talk last year and early this year on the offense. But when you look at this defense and you think of that goal line stand, specifically forcing 3 turnovers, does it almost get to the point where how good this defense sometimes gets overlooked with so much focus on offensive production?
Well, you look at a whole football. It's not getting overlooked here in house. I can tell you that. We take great pride in defense, and the Free Press put out all these wins, 110 wins, and just for fun, I counted them up. There were 70 of those wins where we held people under 17 points. Played well defensively here for a long time, and we're going to continue to do that because we put an emphasis on tackling and things of that nature, and we work hard at it. But we work hard on the offensive side of the ball, and they've certainly had their success as well. But I think we're a little bit, we've had some injuries, so we're a little bit in transition a little bit, with our offensive line. But I thought that we protected the quarterback very well. He was productive, and we sort of stopped ourselves in the first half. We have a 15-yard penalty on a block by a tailback, which I thought was a pretty good block. That makes it 1st and 25. We have a offsides. We also have a jet sweep at -7 yards, as it becomes 1st and 17. So, we drop a punt. We fumble a punt, which gives up one possession, gives us one less possession. So we sort of stopped ourselves. I didn't credit Northwestern, but there were some things going on after the first drive that sort of stalled us out a little bit. But I thought we got going in the third quarter and into the fourth as well.
Mark, this is Hondo from Spartan Nation. When you look at Matt Coughlin over his career, he's been Mr. Reliable. So when a guy struggles a little bit, is it like in baseball with a good hitter who maybe struggles a little bit, the secret is just getting him up there in the plate and facing pitches? Is it just the same way, just keep letting him kick and letting him know you believe in him to get that confidence or get that swagger back?
Well, I think we got to be positive, first of all. Nobody's working harder at it than he is. Head came up right after the kick. He needs to keep his head down. But I think when you have something that occurs that is unusual for yourself, you go back to technique. And we still believe in Matt. We expect him to kick very well. And the bottom line is, when he misses a kick, it's like, what are you doing? He is going to miss at times, and it's uncharacteristic of him. But he did hit 7 in a row before he missed the one. And he missed a couple others, but we had some problems with delay a game on one, and then a problem with personnel on the other, 2 of which he made. So we'll just keep going in that direction, but I have a lot of confidence in him. We'll be fine.
Special teams, with the penalties, you kind of eliminated those this week. With you mentioned Cody's fumble and the missed field goal and Cole's kickoff out of bounds. How much do you guys feel like you need to clean up there, and how much do you feel like you're still, with like the Darryl return and things like that, getting some good production and trying to balance all that out?
And we also had a muff fair catch, put the ball on the one at the end of the game. So we work at it very hard. We need to clean that end of the things up. A lot of times you've got younger players playing on those teams. As far as the kick out of bounds, and when he kicked it off, I thought we were going to be fine, and the wind just blew it. So those things still happen. But the missed field goal was something we just talked about. But we try extremely hard to play very well on special teams, but we've had some hiccups. There's no question of that. They put us behind the 8 ball, whether it's been a penalty or something of that nature. So got to clean it up. As we go forward, it'll only get tougher as far as competitive nature of the conference and who we play and the consequences. What do we play for? The importance of each game grows as we go forward.
Hey, Mark, it's Matt Wenzel with MLive. You mentioned Joe and the production points. Obviously, he played really well yesterday. How you grade him out production points-wise? Is that one of the highest totals you've had since you've been there?
That's the highest one I've ever had in doing this and really started doing this when I was with Nick Saban in 1995. So that's the highest production points that I've ever seen.
Mark, what was the difference? This is Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. We all saw that Joe was hitting hard out there and doing a good job. But was there anything you saw extra from him in that game that led to this, or is it a guy just reaching peak performance as a senior?
I think he's a very good player, and he's got his hands on balls and had an interception, and he had the big sack at the beginning of the game. Was a part of it, big part of it, and then I think he had 14 tackles, and I don't have them right in front of me, but maybe 14 tackles, just something like that. But they're an inside zone team and ran inside the tackles a lot. I guess he had 13 tackles and 1 assist, 2 TFLs, back, interception. So all those type of things sort of add up. And he had 2 pass breakups as well, I think, was what we got for. So all those things add up. He's a very active player. He knows what's going on, and you got to deal with him on a day-to-day, game-to-game basis. I mean, he's always going to be at the point of attack, and he's a very tireless extremely hard at the mental part of the game as well, in terms of understanding our defense and how it fits relative we play against.
Mark, Justin Fromer here from the State News. Something small that I forgot to, or didn't get a chance to ask you yesterday. Julian Barnett played in his 4th game of the season. Is the plan going forward to not do the red shirt? And then, did you see any improvement during the week with the route Christmas and stuff you were talking about during your press conference?
Yes, Julian. We'll play Julian the whole year. I think that he's only going to get better. A big catch yesterday. Second part of the question was?
It's during the week. You mentioned on Tuesday on your press conference just about his route Christmas still being a work in progress. If you saw any improvements in that.
Oh, okay. I think that he's a freshman, so there's constant learning taking place to be able to play at game speed. And, that's just recognition of things, coverages, and playing on habit. I also think Trey Mosley, I think Larice Nelson, Cam Chambers played some. Trey Mosley did not play, but, I think he's another freshman that I think you could see play by the end of the year as well. He's got great skills. And we're just going to keep working our guys. But we do want to have, if they're not going to play regularly, we don't want to take their red shirt. But I do think Julian will play regularly.
Mark, Chris Solari, as a follow-up to that, do you feel like there's at this point, obviously Jude's probably one of those guys. Do you have an idea of that, of how many or who you might play for the full year? And how much did you guys learn last year throughout that first year of this process?
I think it was a great learning experience. I think that it benefits a lot of players if they can get on the field for a game or so. They're obviously not going to play the whole game, some of them, but I just think it benefits them. It's different than practice. It increases your awareness and your focus for every game because you understand that you may be in there. Right now, 3 of our freshman offensive linemen are 2s. So, whether it's Nick Samac or J.D. Duplain or Devontae Doss, all 3 of those guys are freshmen and they're going to have an opportunity to play. So we'll see if we can hold their red shirt, but we've got to give them opportunities as well. They need to understand what to do. Game speed.
Time for one. If you guys have them.
Mark, Matt Siebert yesterday was talking in, really raw emotion about the process, about his dream and all of that. I'm curious, he's kind of a throwback to the players that you built this program with. Can you talk about him and just his character and your thoughts on him as a young man off the field?
Matt transferred here from Buffalo, sat the year, and played some tight end, I think, in 2017. Last year, moved to defensive end. He thought he would play a little bit more there, and probably didn't happen the way he wanted it to, and so there was some discussion whether what he should do his senior year here, and I said, hey, hang in. Back to tight end and hang in. You played at 17. I feel like you can get involved in the process. And he has. And he's played very well here, obviously very well yesterday. He's a serious-minded guy. He's going to work extremely hard. And he's earning everything he gets.
Hey, Mark, Jim Comparoni. Jack Camper's a guy that was in the playing group last year, has had to kind of wait to get back on the field. He played a couple of snaps. Where do you see him right now, and is he a guy that can get back in that playing group and give you something here in the near future?
Yeah, I think Jack will be. He was out with an injury for a little bit, so he just started practicing back this last week. Got a tremendous amount of ability. He's just got to get back. We just got to get him back in there playing a little faster. But he'll figure into the deal, into the rotation and things of that nature. We would expect that.
Hey, Mark.
Stephen. You got it, Chris?
I was going to ask you, Mark, just with the kickoffs, with the change in the rules, I don't think we ever really kind of touched on some of the philosophy, but it looks like you're trying to keep the ball in the field of play and make the return man make a decision. How much have you guys tried to figure out what to do with those new rules?
Well, I think that everybody has a little bit of a different idea. You've got to sort of figure out what people's philosophies are, but we're trying to kick it out. If it's not kicked out, we want to hang it up, up high and put it on the 2 or 3 yard line, but this last week there was a lot of wind, so, it was going to go one way or the other. So it worked that way for both teams. But there are some different rules. You saw the one where it was kicked over our returner's head at the end when the hitter hands team in, and he threw up his hand for a fair catch. The ball sailed on him, and he didn't catch it, and it ended up on the one. That's where you get it on the one. So that's a different type of rule, so we had to deal with it. So, understand.
Steven, last one, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure. Okay. Hey, Mark, this is Stephen Brooks from 24/7 Sports. I didn't notice this live, but I had some people mention it after that did Elijah get carted off the field at one point during the game? I'm just asking, A, I guess, did that actually happen, and B, if there's any further context you can provide for that, because like I said, that wasn't something I noticed in real time, and I believe he was back by the end of the game.
Yes, he was back by the end of the game, and we took him out precautionary just to get a quick X-ray. But he's fine. He's fine.